All right, let's get into it. Today we're talking about self-discipline, but maybe not in the way you're used to thinking about it. We've got two absolute titans in this space, and they're coming at the exact same problem from completely different universes.
So just think about it for a second. When you want to build a better version of yourself, what's your go-to move? Do you try to design a smarter system, kind of trick yourself into good habits? Or do you just forge an unbreakable will and stare down any challenge with pure, raw force? Because those true answers, they take you down wildly different roads.
On one side, you've got James Clear, who's like this brilliant strategist of tiny, almost invisible habits. And on the other, you've got David Goggins, a guy who basically wrote the book on embracing pain. Now, both of them promise a way to totally transform your life, but believe me, their playbooks could not be more different.
Okay, so let's dive into that first path. We're going to call this one the Architect's Blueprint. And this is all thanks to James Clear and his incredible work in Atomic Habits.
And this right here, this is a pretty radical idea when you first hear it. Claire basically says, forget your goals. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Think about that. He's saying willpower, ambition, they're flaky, they're unreliable. What really matters are those automatic things you do every day. That's your system, and it's your safety net for when your motivation just completely vanishes.
And get this, he argues that real, lasting change isn't even about the outcome, it's about your identity. So let's say you want to be a writer. The goal isn't write a book. No, the goal is to become the type of person who writes every single day. Every little action you take is like casting a vote for that new identity. It's powerful stuff. And here's just how simple the process can be. Step 1, decide who you want to be. I am a healthy person. Simple. Step 2, prove it to yourself with small wins. And we are not talking about running a marathon on day 1. Nope. We're talking about taking the stairs instead of the elevator, drinking 1 extra glass of water. These are tiny, undeniable wins that start building that proof.
This is where it gets super practical. Clear basically tells us to become architects of our own lives. Stop fighting your environment all the time. Instead, just design it. Design it so the good choice is the easy choice. You want to drink more water? Easy. Put water bottles everywhere. Want to practice guitar more? Don't hide it in a case in the closet. Put it right in the middle of your living room. The goal is to make good habits just obvious and completely effortless.
So, here's the bottom line for the Architect's method. You win by making progress the path of least resistance. It's all about being strategic, being smart. It's about working with your own human nature, not constantly fighting against it.
But here's the big question, right? What happens when that system fails? When life just throws a grenade into your plans and that beautiful, carefully designed environment gets completely turned upside down by a crisis you have zero control over? Then what?
And that question, that's our doorway to the second path. We're calling this one the Warrior's Forge. And this whole philosophy, man, it was forged in the fire of David Goggins' life. It's a straight-up masterclass in looking pain right in the eye. I mean, Goggins' own story is all the proof you need for this. This is a guy who's facing just immense trauma, poverty, weighing nearly 300 pounds. He didn't sit down and design a better system for himself. Nope. He decided to run straight into the storm and just build a will of pure iron.
See, for Goggins, comfort is the ultimate enemy. He truly believes that our real potential, what we're actually capable of, is buried under this huge mountain of softness and all our excuses. And if you want to find it, you got to be willing to dig. You got to dig through layers and layers of pain.
This brings us to his most famous idea, the 40% rule. Okay, picture this. He says your mind is like a governor on a car's engine. It's designed to slow you down, to make you quit early to save fuel, right? So when your mind is screaming at you, you're done, you're exhausted, Goggins says you're only at 40% of what you can actually do. The warrior's job is to learn how to shut that voice up and tap into that other 60%.
So how do you do that? How do you actually push past that 40% wall? Well, he gives you a tool. It's called the cookie jar. It's not a real jar, obviously. It's a mental collection of every single time you've ever triumphed over anything, all your past wins, big and small. So when your brain is screaming quit, you mentally reach into that cookie jar, pull out a memory of a past victory, and you remind yourself what you're really made of.
So you see the difference, right? While the architect is busy reducing friction, the warrior goes out looking for it.
Goggins' whole argument is that by intentionally putting yourself through hell, you build up these mental calluses. Your mind gets tough, it gets armored, and it becomes ready for absolutely anything.
And this is where it all just becomes crystal clear. Look at the two. The architect. Reduce friction, build a system, get 1% better every day, you're designing your world. Then you've got the warrior. Seek friction, forge your will, embrace the suck. You're conquering your inner world. One is playing chess with their environment, the other is going to war with their own mind. It's outside in versus inside out.
Okay, so we've laid out these two powerful and, let's be honest, completely contradictory philosophies. But what if we're looking at it all wrong? What if they aren't supposed to be enemies? What if they're just two different tools for two totally different jobs?
It brings us right back to the question we started with, doesn't it? Which path is the right one? Architect or warrior? Do you build the slick, elegant system, or do you forge that unstoppable will?
The answer is you need both. It's not about picking a side. The real secret is knowing when to be the architect and when you absolutely have to become the warrior.
Here's how it works together. You use the architect's blueprint to build your day-to-day life. You make good habits, eating right, working out, reading, totally automatic. You build these brilliant systems for, let's say, the 99% of life that's kind of predictable. But for that other 1%, for the chaos, the crises, the stuff you never see coming, that's when you unleash the warrior. That's when you have to dig deep and endure the unendurable.
Because in the end, yeah, a really well-designed system is great for handling your daily routine. But life's biggest tests, they don't give a damn about your system. They're going to demand a calloused mind and an absolutely unbreakable spirit. So the final question really is for you. Your greatest challenge is coming. It always is. Who are you going to be when it gets here?